big, interesting you talk about age. There's Wodars, who's one of the East Germans, world champion. And we're about to go to Olazarenko, who's 35 years of age, so she hasn't aged all that much. She won the gold medal in 1980 in Moscow, where she broke the world record for the 800. That has since gone to Kratok-Vilova from Czechoslovakia, but it's in the next one. So they're away, and from the outside, Olazarenko and Wodars. Teles is in lane 6, Gallagher in lane 5, Wade in lane 4, a double Commonwealth champion at this distance. Čolović's gone out in lane 2, Clark in lane 1, and Zúñiga in lane 3. So Gallagher's taken up the front running with Wodars, Olazarenko and Čolović. And Olazarenko, who won this event 8 years ago in Moscow, with a bit of trouble there for Čolović, has taken up the front running. Wodars, the world champion, is second. Third, Gallagher. Fourth, Zúñiga from Spain. Then Čolović, Clark, Teres and Wade is at the back. So the two girls that are favoured to go 1-2 have put themselves in the best position.
Yes, they have indeed, Bruce, and they're getting amongst it too. They're not at all very slow. They're keeping a good pace on. It's a windy condition, so the front runner can feel a bit of a problem because of the wind, but it isn't worrying this Russian girl. She's really moving it along.
Good first lap, 57.46. It could be a fast semi-final. And at the moment, there's 5 in it and 3 at the back. And Olazarenko, who's heavily bandaged, 35 years of age, leads Wodars, Gallagher, Zúñiga, Čolović, and the other 3 are out of it. So 4 places, 5 people challenging for them, and Olazarenko's gone. So the defending, or the champion from Moscow, is out of it. So obviously she's had an injury problem, because she's better than this. And the 4 that'll go through can now switch off a bit. Wodars, Gallagher, Zúñiga, who's been the surprise from Spain, and Čolović. They haven't taken a head count, but if they did, they'd be pretty safe, because Wade is 20 metres away. Gallagher's challenging Wodars in the straight. Čolović and Zúñiga are both running at their very top. Čolović had a look back. Gallagher still looks fairly good, so does Wodars, though. She's responded, and they're drawn away from Čolović and Zúñiga, and they'll both qualify comfortably, all 4, and the time's fast, 1:57.22. Wodars, Gallagher, Čolović and Zúñiga. They're the qualifiers. Wade, Teres, Clark and Olazarenko. So let's take a break after the first semi-final. Wodars winning in 1:57.22 to the Olympic Stadium in Seoul for the second semi-final of the women's 800 metres. Riezdi of Suriname, who's made the final by running a big personal best in the heat. Yevseyeva of the Soviet Union, one of the favourites. Diane Edwards in 7. And a girl with a very long name in lane 8 is Matuzovichin of the Soviet Union. So 2 Soviets, but the favourite here is Wachtel in lane 4 from the GDR, East Germany. She was second, beaten a whisker last year by Wodars in the World Championship. And Wodars has just won the first of these heats in 1:57.22. The American Floyd is showing out, Delisa Floyd, who's married to the former sprinter Stanley Floyd. And the Soviet with a long name, Matuzovichin, has taken up the running from Wachtel. Yevseyeva, the taller of the Soviets, copped a very bad check there. She ran into the back of Wachtel. She's third. Fourth is Floyd. And off the back is Bailey, which is a bit of a surprise, because I didn't think they were going quite so quickly. 1:57.22 in the first. First 4 to go through to tomorrow's final.
They're moving along in this heat as well, this semi-final as well, Bruce. The GDR like to run on the shoulders, don't they? They're sitting on the shoulders of the Russian again. It's almost identical to the first semi-final, where the Wodars ran so impressively. 57.25,
first lap. Matuzovichin leads from Wachtel. Floyd, Yevseyeva and Edwards from Great Britain, and then Lesch from West Germany. The Soviets were very impressive yesterday in the heats, but this is much more serious, and Wachtel has been the #1 in the world last year. And she's gone past the first Soviet, and now Yevseyeva is going to tackle her. It's quite windy in the stadium, and it is difficult for 800-metre running. Floyd has gone a long way from home, and the Soviets are in a bit of trouble. Certainly Matuzovichin's going to miss out, and Wachtel's being challenged by Floyd, but she'll respond, Wachtel. Yevseyeva, Lesch and Edwards. First 4 to go through. It's going to be a great battle. Wachtel's come away. Floyd's running very well. Yevseyeva will get through, and so will Edwards. And Wachtel, well, can she beat Wodars in the final? It's going to be a slower heat, 58.4. Floyd ran very well. Yevseyeva third, and Edwards is qualified for 4th. Ron, who do you fancy, Wachtel or Wodars?
I thought Wodars was much easier than Wachtel. Wachtel was really going fairly flat tack down there because she had 4 right on her back. And she had to really keep it going along, although she could have eased a little, but she didn't, I didn't think at all. I think Wodars is more impressive. I think it might be a repeat of the championships in World Championships in Rome, but it's going to be very close between these two girls. I was pretty impressed also with Yevseyeva, the Russian. I think she had a little bit in her. Big, long girl. If the cards fall right, for an 800 metres, the cards have to fall right. I think she could be well in it.
Floyd's run very well because her best is 1:58.7, and she's run right up to that.
Yes, she has indeed, but she again was, I don't think she got much in reserve. The race was perfect for her. She came around the outside just where they wanted to. She bit into that wind.
Ron Clark, who will be joining me in about 15 minutes' time for the men's 800 metre semi-finals. They are going to be fantastic. The 2 East Germans win the semi-finals in 6 and 7, and Levskaya is in lane 3. Tatiana Levskaya, who she raced against today. It could not be better, Ron Clark. It's a perfect draw.
Perfect. It's absolutely. If she hadn't chosen it, I think the way that she would have put it in.
This is a women's 800 final. Men's 800 final in about 15 minutes' time. Kim Gallagher ran a personal best in the semi-final of 1:57.39. Second last Olympic Games, silver medal in Los Angeles. The number 1 last year was this girl, Christine Wachtel of East Germany, but she was second in the World Championships, but ranked number 1. Has a personal best of 1:55.32 and comes into this as the second favourite. Slobodanka Čolović of Yugoslavia was the World Student final last year, won the World Student Games and was in the final of the World Championships. There's a favourite. Sigrun Wodars, 23 years of age from East Germany, current world champion, silver medalist at the European Championships in 1986. Teresa Zúñiga has made great progress this season. She's run 1:57.45 from Spain, and in lane 8, Ina Yevseyeva of the Soviet Union, who's ran 1:56. In 1 and 2, Diane Edwards of Great Britain and Delisa Floyd of the United States.
Will, but or it might be the Americans. Certainly Floyd led in the semi-final, so she could be a front runner, but it's going to be a rush down that back straight to get in the proper position, and the East Germans like to leave it as late as possible, come down the straight if they can.
Sun shining brightly in Seoul. It's a magnificent day and quite a superb atmosphere. Saver is in 8. 1:41 is Zúñiga, Wodars and Čolović. Gallagher's an improver. Yevseyeva the outside. Zúñiga, Wodars, Čolović, Wachtel, Gallagher, Floyd and Edwards. So the Spanish girl out the back, and so will Edwards. And we're looking for someone to take up the front running. There's no natural leader in this final. And Gallagher, Wodars and Wachtel have it at the moment. Yevseyeva coming across from the outside with Čolović, Floyd, then 2 from the back, Edwards and Zúñiga. So the 2 East Germans are running side by side. A surprise.
A surprise, yes. They're going to go all the way by the look of them. They're going to set a reasonable pace. At this pace, they're going to be under the 60 seconds, maybe around 57.58, which is quite a good pace for the first half of a final of this nature.
Wachtel inside Wodars. They were 1-2 in the World Championship last year and are the equal favourites for this race. Yevseyeva 3rd. Gallagher, the silver medalist at Los Angeles, 4th. Then Čolović as Wodars leads them through in 56.43. They're moving. They're really going. Floyd 3 from the back, Zúñiga and Edwards. And the East Germans have gone out hard, and Wodars is kicking it down from a long, long way out.
It's a long way, Bruce, as you rightly said. Yevseyeva is the only one I think could stay with them. Maybe the Yugoslav, is it?
Čolović in 4th placing. Yes. And Gallagher's 5th.
That's a very high commitment. 56 seconds first lap is a very tough commitment.
And Wachtel tackles Wodars as she did in Rome last year. She went past her at this stage, and Wodars was able to come back. Will she respond? Čolović moving outside Yevseyeva and then Gallagher. So Wachtel, and Wodars does it again. She now responds and moves up on her shoulder, and Gallagher's got a good chance here. Gallagher's going to challenge the East Germans in the straight. Wodars, Wachtel. Gallagher can't get there. And as she did in Rome last year, she's going to do in Seoul this year. Wodars is away and wins in 1:56.10. A courageous victory. Second Wachtel, and the bronze medal for Gallagher. Then Čolović, Yevseyeva, Floyd, Zúñiga and Edwards. It was a carbon copy of Rome last year. Again, Wachtel, for some reason, wanted to take the lead at the 200 and
67. It was almost a 60-second last lap. It really was the last man standing sort of a phrase. All the others had to sit on them. They had the, if they were good enough, they would have been able to easily pick them up. They just had to maintain even speed into that second lap.
Years ago in Los Angeles, has finished third in Seoul. So the women's 800 metres went to plan. The favourite won, and the second favourite got the